Hi friends, today in India we can see thousands of students are protesting. Not just the student, but now farmer have also joined them. Many other political parties are also sympathizing with the demands of Cockroach Janata Party and Mr. Sonam Wangchuk ji. As we all know, Mr. Sonam Wangchuk ji was on hunger strike. He has been hospitalized now and government had to intervene in between, and government had to forcefully break or stop the hunger strike of Mr. Sonam Wangchuk ji. Now, why lakhs of students are joining the protest organized by CJP? Why not just the student, but thousands and lakhs of people from different walk of life are supporting the causes and the demands of CJP. Today we are going to understand what are the demands made by CJP, and most importantly why this demand has been raised. These demands have been raised because if we see the atmosphere of India for last few years maybe, then we can realize that this movement has provided a sort of trigger. The resentment, the frustration, the anxiety, the angers against the corruption in the institution, the trust deficit between the government and the people, the inertia of bureaucratic system and organization. Sort of we can say that we the people of India, that our preamble starts with, that the supreme power lies with the people. This dictum or this statement somehow failed in the institutions of India, and that is the reason why peoples are now going on street. They are marching against, not we can say against the government, but they are demanding accountability, responsibility, transparency from the government. Because in the end of the day, in a democratic systems, government has to answer each and every question made by the people. It is not that we are free once in a 5 year, because one of the political scholar has once argued that the Englishmen are free once in a 5 year, means every 5 year election happens, we cast our vote to any political party per se. Then for the next 5 year, particular representative never meet us. If that particular representative is not working in order to meet our aspirations, then it is certainly our responsibility to raise the question, to ask the question, and to ask the representative why they are not working for the development of our constituencies. Now coming to our point, why the CJP has organized protest, what are their demands, and why lakhs of people are supporting the causes of CJP. First of all, let us see what are the demands they have made. Their first demand is resignation of Mr. Dharmendra Pradhan. Dharmendra Pradhan is Educational Minister of India. And most importantly, why they are asking the resignation of Mr. Dharmendra Pradhan? Is it political? Because why I am saying is it political? Because many peoples and like many leaders from the government and many other political parties as well, they are calling the CJP, they are calling those who are supporting the CJP anti-national, or maybe the CJP is being financed by the foreign national, and CJP is working for all other political parties. Some are calling it out as the proxies of some other political parties. Some are calling it this protest, this demonstration organized by the CJP, or the hunger strike of Mr. Sonam Wangchuk ji is motivated by the political aspiration or political causes. However, these are all rumors, maybe these are the propaganda, because we are living in a democracy, and in democracy everyone has right to put forward their arguments. Everyone can articulate and consolidate their thoughts, and they can obviously write it, convey it through whatever means possible to them. But guys, let me decode few of the things according to my opinion or whatever my understanding about the electoral politics in India, the democracy in India, or the contemporary politics of globe. CJP, their cause are not politically motivated. Why? Because resignation of Dharmendra Pradhan is not symbolic, is not politically motivated, rather it is mere symbolism. It is symbolic that the NEET aspirants, many NEET aspirants since few months have committing the suicides. More than 20 NEET aspirant committed suicide. We can see there is a lot of corruption and leakages of papers, whether it is SSC CGL, whether it is NEET, or whether many other examinations which are conducted in India. Allegedly, many sort of leakages, many sort of we can say institutional failures and non-transparency in the conduction of the examinations are observed. And this is so often phenomenon in India that nobody even dare to care, or they just don't bother about these things. So is there anyone responsible to it? If we have to call out one man who is responsible to this, or if something is happening wrong in our educational system, who are gonna make, who will, let's say for example, the farmers are committing suicide in India, who will be held responsible for that? Government. And then in government in general and agriculture minister in particular. Similarly, if the students are committing suicides, if there are leakages in the paper, if there is a corruption in the paper, if things are happening wrong in the educational system in India, who will be held accountable and responsible for that? Whom we are going to ask the question? Obviously, government or educational minister in particular. So these people are just asking the educational minister's resignation because we should make someone accountable. We should ask someone the question. And in my opinion, if these people are protesting on Jantar Mantar, even if, let's say for example, Dharmendra Pradhan ji, Educational Minister of India, even if he could not resign, okay, accepted, he could not resign, but at least he can meet to the protester, at least he can convey, he can convince them that we are working in order to reduce the corruption in the system, we are working so that the leakages, or we can say whatever the wrongs happening in our paper examination conduction process, we will ensure that these things will not happen in the future. We are taking actions against those who found guilty in the offenses of all these kind of things. If at least they could have conveyed the message, they could have convinced this protester that, see, I am responsible, I am taking the responsibility, and I will make sure that these things will not happen in the future. But did it happen? No. Dharmendra Pradhan ji, or for that matter simply an MP of government or simply an MLA of government, at least they could have met with this protester or demonstrator, but nobody dared, nobody bothered to at least meet these guys. So what is the option left with them? Hunger strike, protest, and indefinite hunger strike. And now they have demanded it, so there is nothing politically motivated or nothing sort of political. This is the demand of every parents who is losing their children. It is the demands of every aspirant of all this government examination. They want the fairness, they want transparency in the conduction of these examinations. So this is our demand. This is not political demand. This is asking our representative, this is asking our own government, please make sure the system is working fairly, transparently for the development of the student, because students are ultimately the future of India. And coming to other things, let's say for example, many people are saying it is anti-national. Why it is anti-national? Asking government question, is it anti-national? Once upon a time, Plato used to say, Socrates used to say, ask question to the power, dare to ask truth to the power. And in healthy democracy, everyone asks question to the government. In contemporary democracy, in USA, in UK, in every contemporary democracy, people ask questions. People actively participate in the government processes. As Anna Arendt once said, that power is people acting in concert. If people act together, that generates the power, and it is the responsibility of every citizen to ask, to participate in the electoral politics of India. It is not only about casting the vote once in a 5 year. It is often and regularly holding our government machinery accountable and responsible for whatever they are doing in our country. Most importantly, now farmers are also joining. Opposition parties are also sympathizing the demand. I am not saying they are participating, but at least they are in the favor of their demand. They are at least in the favor of the student communities. Now coming to our Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji. See, if something is wrong happening in our country, if Modi ji at least can hold a press conference, he can answer to the question of all the students, like for example, why this is happening in our country. We will make sure that these things will never happen. Why is running away from the press conference? At least he can ensure in the press conference that we will make sure that things will go on fine. But this is also he is not doing. That is absolutely not accepted in the democracy. And we proudly call us the mother of all democracies. India is one of the largest democracies in the world. But many scholars like Jeffrey Lott or many other scholars call India mere electoral democracy. They call it mere a procedural democracy. India is not being viewed as a substantive democracy yet. Why? Because in India, peoples are free once in a 5 year in reality. Peoples are truly powerless in India. Why I am saying this? Because farmers are committing suicide, because students are committing suicides, because many depraved, many people are losing their life because of unemployment, because of high inflation, and because of corruption and bureaucratic inertia. These civil servants are basically meant to serve the country, but they are behaving like they are master of this country. Are they owning this country? No. Are these political leaders owning our country? No. In true democracy, we choose the electative, we choose the representative to serve us, to make India proud, to make India Vishwaguru in substantive and true sense. But it is happening. We proudly call that India is going to be the Vishwaguru or 30 trillion economy by 2047. Is it really happening? We have slid to the 6th position in terms of economy. Now, see, inflation is high, unemployment is high, and apart from that, forget about these things also. This is the responsibility of government to make country on a progressive and developmental track. But what happens? Political leader, political parties, I am not saying only the government, I am saying the political parties, they are involving in propaganda politics, personal vendetta politics. They are interested in polarizing the people on the basis of caste, on the basis of religion. Are you guys really caring about democracy? Are you guys really caring about the common man living in India? How they are earning money, how they are spending money, how they are living a sort of miserable life. There is no infrastructure safety in India. just by a sort of mere sort of mild disaster, our infrastructure is completely broken. It is disrupted. In the monsoon, go on the road and see what is the condition of road in the villages and the town B and town C cities. Apart from that, still we are engaged in sort of polarization. We are engaged in sort of doing politics on everything. In the parochial nationalism or sort of ultra-nationalism, this common or the middleman is somewhere has become a sandwich. I am not against the government. I am not in favor of any political party, any ideology or any institution. I am just a citizen of this country, and it is my fundamental right to ask question to my government, to ask the representative. It is my responsibility to hold them responsible and accountable. Why could not I? And if I am doing that, nobody has the right to label me anti-national. I am not using the language. I am not saying to throw out the established government. I am not saying that the government is doing everything wrong. I am not saying that that this government is completely waste or previous government were the best. No. Every government has done some wrong and has done some right. But in a democracy, everyone has right to provide constructive criticism to the government. If they are doing good things, we should clap. But if they are doing wrong, we should ask them why they are doing wrong. Because in the end of the day, they are responsible to us. In the end of the day, history will also remember their activities. History note down every small details carried out by the leaders. So they also know. They are also legally, morally, politically responsible to the people of India, because Constitution has provided us right to ask the question, and being a true aware citizen, we should ask the question. Before calling it out anti-national to anyone, please look into the causes why they are demanding something. Please do not spread rumor, propaganda, discrimination or sort of haters among each other. We celebrate and cherish our constitutional values of unity in diversity, the heterogeneous culture of India. We proudly say that India is a cosmopolitan society. We proudly say that idea of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Then how can we polarize the people? Then how can we spread haters among each other? We are brother. We should encourage the feeling of fraternity among all the people. And I really urge all the people of India, please, if you could not read or if you can't read the entire copy of Constitution, at least read fundamental rights and fundamental duties of Indian Constitution. At least you will be aware what are your rights. At least you will be aware what are your fundamental duties towards our nation. And again I am saying, please Modi ji, come in front of media, take a press conference, listen to the questions of people, listen to the questions of students, negotiate with them, communicate with them. We are not against you. We are just saying you, please speak up, because you are the Prime Minister of our country and you have all the responsibility of 150 billion, this sort of 150 crore, 1.5 billion people, because you always mention in your speeches this 1.5 billion narrative, and this is the right time to give justice to your narrative, because right now the trust deficit is large. The trust deficit between the government and the people is broadening, and it is your responsibility to bridge the gap of that trust deficit. It is your responsibility to ensure the free, the fair, the substantive, the ethical governance in our country. Because when you have given that narrative of India will become a Vishwaguru, when you have said that India will become the $30 trillion economy by 2047, we always supported this narrative. We always appreciate your work that your government did on the issue of climate change. this work is really commendable. We are just saying you, please, we the student, we the people, those who are depraved, those who are marginalized, those whose voice cannot be echo in our parliament, please do listen to these voices also, because these are the voices which has to be heard in the democracy. Because once Gandhiji has said that do your work in such a way that the last man of the ladder also be empowered. It is your responsibility to ensure that nobody is ignored, that nobody is basically outsided, or nobody is basically depraved in your rule. We actually accept and expect from you that whatever you are doing is in the good faith of economy, is in the good interest of our nation, and we truly recognize your valuable contribution to this nation. But this is the right time. Please come forward to the media and listen their question freely and frankly. And please, I am also urging the citizen of this country, do not label anyone anti-national, because we are students, we are not anti-national. We know the responsibility toward our nation. We know that for us, nation first comes. Our priority is to build India. Our priority to make India truly a Vishwa Guru. Thank you so much.